sitting on a log. One of them fell in. One frog said to the other frog, well, you better go get her. Two little frogs sitting on a log. One of them fell in. Last little frog, he sat and thought, good thing they can swim. Jabberjaw, 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 Jabberjaw. Three little frogs sitting on a log. One burst into a grin. One frog said to the other frog, wonder what's got into him. Two little frogs sitting on a log. One laughed until he is red. Last little frog, he sat and thought, must have been something I said. Jabberjaw, 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 Jabberjaw. Hey, yes, all right.
Oh, it takes a little bit of tongue to get that sound back.
Sorry about that, everybody. We updated the OS on the laptop there, and I was a little worried that things might be a little bit different, but it looks like we are now live. Yeah. So let's say everything we just said, but not quite as well. One more time. I'm Nathan Moore. This is Kyle Hogg. Steve Moore at your service. You're watching Jabberjaw. Hello, world. So, yeah, well, that's probably a good thing that they didn't hear any of that.
Like I told you, we wouldn't be talking about it. Like I promised.
Sorry about that, but we should be good now. Let me know that you can hear us out there.
If you can't hear us, ring a bell or something.
God, it was such a smooth start, too. I felt like we were really off and running. The pace was good, and now we've tripped on our own shoestrings.
Stumbled another 90 minutes to stumble now.
Yeah, now we're going to stumble the rest of the show.
I am ashamed.
We were smooth operators there for a second. Save us, Dad.
Off to a nice start.
Well, I don't think that we were on long enough to establish any pattern at all.
That's true.
I think that's a bunch of baloney, and we weren't going to do that good tonight anyway because we're all so concerned about other issues.
Right.
Like for me, and I know a lot of the people in this country right now, I'm worried about my damn stomach.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm feeling upset. I have an upset stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm just trying to show
that has something to do with my answer when you asked me if I'm going to watch the debate tonight. I already have an upset stomach.
Is the fact that there's a debate tonight what has upset your stomach?
I don't think so, because I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it, but just the thought of that going out into the world tonight it almost balances a good Jabberjaw. But more people watch the debate than watch us. You'd be surprised.
It's shocking. It's shocking, but I think you're right.
It surprised
Yeah.
surprised me when I heard the data.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
I'm afraid they don't. But we're not that popular. But I just think there's something that maybe we should be more not in your stomach creating and say crazy things and get more attention than we do. I think we just kind of we're forming a cult of people that don't like to hear any of that at all.
At all,
And just
right.
want to be flippant about life in general because it's easier and healthier to be flippant,
Right.
which I love this new word.
Yeah, flippant is a great word.
Flippant? Have you been flippant lately, Kyle?
I think the answer to that is fuck you. Isn't that a flippant answer?
That's why they call it flipping the bird. Flipping the
I
bird.
really kind of disagree. I think that was a little strong. That's a higher word than flippant.
Right.
What would flippant be? How dare you ask me that?
Although I am now convinced that flippant is a very good name for a bird. I think
What is flippant?
A cartoon character, Flippant the bird.
Flippant is like you just give them an answer, like a sarcastic answer.
Let's ask.
Yeah, it's a light. I think of it as
Light.
and kind of blowing you off type
So
of
F you
thing.
is not probably right.
Not attacking me like you were.
Hey Siri. What does flippant mean? Not showing a serious or respectful attitude.
Okay.
So you're you know.
Flippant would be a fun play on Flipper the dolphin if it was just like a rude dolphin.
Right. You've seen Flipper. Tune in after the debate.
And also, don't anybody worry.
All right, so
I'm
Kyle
sure.
got stuck in a traffic jam. They just walked in the door right as the credits were rolling. It was just down to the wire here in the Jabberjaw studio. And so he has not had time to do his insulin, but this is pretty
That's right.
fascinating. You have to read the directions every time.
No. And
Oh, it's just like getting ready to connect or something?
I'm sure you've all heard the John Prine song, "The Boy with diabetes." I am the John Prine.
Is there a John
subject.
Prine song called that?
I'm thinking of you two. I was thinking about that. How am I going to explain why I'm doing this on here? So this is the little thing that goes on with me. Don't be flippant when you see it.
So, all right. So what? Oh, you're about to stab yourself.
No.
Where are we going? Where are we going? Leg?
Yeah, right here on my... All right, so I got to get some insulin from this bottle.
Okay, we should not distract you too
No,
much, right?
I've
Because
done it.
one air bubble could kill you.
I've
or
done it 100. That's what they say.
Quiet on the set. No,
No, but you can talk. You can talk. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I did not have any time when I got home. Like he said, I was in a terrible traffic jam.
Where are you coming from?
From where I work, Harrisonburg. Y'all can keep talking.
Oh, I'm fascinated.
Well, yeah.
No,
Can anything go wrong with this?
you can maybe put on that Chopin again.
If you don't like seeing
Yeah, that
needles,
Wait, other one. Sorry. Remix.
That sort of works too.
this is what John Prine was singing about.
So what is that substance?
This is insulin.
Insulin. And what's insulin?
It eats up your sugars and your carbohydrates.
Is it something that we naturally produce
Yes.
that you don't?
Yes, normal people make it themselves. The light
Is
here.
that extracted from people that just died or something? Or do they synthetically make it?
I think it's from prisoners.
Well, yeah, right.
They take it. They take it out of prisoners for like good time served or something. It used to come from pigs or cows.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're not sticking that in your leg?
No, this is the little thing that sticks on my body and gives me the insulin.
Oh, wow.
So I put the insulin in this thing.
Interesting. Might want to go to that other camera angle there.
And that beep means it worked.
Oh, the beep means it worked. So you have an app that's attached to that.
Yep. And this is attached to my phone.
You have 2 phones?
No, this is just controls this thing.
Oh.
Gives me insulin. And look, I always have a wet cotton ball to clean everything up.
That's good to know.
It's the most important thing when you're doing drugs.
Yeah,
Have a
we're-
clean spot to put it in.
So that's like alcohol on a...
Yeah. And this is skin prep. It's sticky stuff. So it like in the summertime, it holds the it holds that to my skin.
Is that and that's going to go into your body somehow, or there?
That attaches, and this needle is it's got a needle, a tube wrapped around the needle, and the needle shoots into you and comes out, and the tube stays in my body.
Oh, weird.
And that's so then I can tell myself how much insulin I need, and it gives it to me.
So what are you waiting on now?
It takes like a little bit to get motivated or whatever. It's like setting up the computer stuff.
Do you do that once a day, or?
I have to change this every 3 days, and then I can take insulin anytime I want, like when I eat. And then the doctors and I set up like a program, so it gives me a certain amount every hour.
So you wear that for 3 days?
Yep.
And you can shower with it and everything?
Yep. So this is like a sticky pad. That's real sticky.
Could you run with that and
Oh yeah, you can do everything. You can swim. You can
swim? Wow.
I think it can stay underwater for an hour. I think.
Wow.
I don't really like swimming because I'm afraid it's gonna fall off.
Yeah, I bet. So now you're about to do something on the app, and then it's going to shoot a needle into you with a tube attached to it.
And that's the worst part because you really don't know how long it takes, so you just have to just sit here and wait till you hear it. And
Wow.
Are you ready?
Sure.
It usually takes about 5 seconds. So let's count down. All right, I'm hitting start. Yes. All right. 1, 2, 3.
That was it.
That was it. That was a good one too. Didn't even
What do
hurt.
you mean that was a good one?
Some of them like you're like, oh, it hurts like a bee sting. That one I barely felt it going in.
Oh, wow.
And then I just hit. Is it inserted? Yes. Then do I want it to match up with my phone? Yep.
Yes.
And then I'm good for 3 days.
3 days.
Because it's basically 3 days. 'Cause that's all the insulin it'll hold.
Mm.
I guess if you had like a big, huge.
So
one.
why would you take insulin at dinner if you have that going on?
Because it's just keeping track of what like my daily life is. Like when I eat.
Oh, but that's giving you insulin. too.
Right. Like it gives me insulin. Like I have it set up like during what part of the day it is. It gives me a certain amount. But then if I eat, I count the carbs and I take insulin to take care of what I just ate. It's
Wow.
it's complicated. It's science.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. That's
Thank
fascinating.
you. I'm sorry if any children had to see that.
So I guess that technology is a great thing compared to what people before that existed had to do.
Oh yeah, when I got it as a kid, it was all shots and all that
All
stuff.
shot. And how would you monitor your insulin levels?
It
Just how you were feeling?
It was a free for all. Yeah. So this thing, my phone tests my blood sugar every 5 minutes. So if it gets high, I know to give myself insulin, or if it gets low, I know to get something to eat.
Wow.
But not all of us have had not just me has had medical experiences.
That's true. I got my.
That's a segue to nowhere.
It really is.
That's a kick in the ass. Isn't it?
I just to preface it, there's 2 things I was sort of, I guess proud is not the right word, but 2 things I never really did. One, which I am actually proud of, is I never had a credit card. I never had any debt, really, any legit debt in my life.
Wow.
And I still have never had a credit card. Another thing I never did was went to the doctor. So I have no medical history and no credit history.
And that's the reason you have no debt.
That's right.
I have no debt, so I never went to the doctor.
That's exactly right. So I really have no medical history, which is sort of interesting. As I get older now, and I go in, they're like, "What?
Were you just
I have
born?
no idea." But yesterday I got a colonoscopy. Is that an applause line?
That's a very important thing. I'm very proud of you
Is
for doing
it?
that.
See, I still don't know, but I do have to say that being now on the other side of it, I am glad I did it. But when I was on the other side of it, I was just a nervous wreck. There's nothing about that suits my nature. It taps into some deep phobias I have. I thought there's a part of me that felt like that was definitely going to be the way I left this earth.
Because of being put under?
Yeah, especially with no medical history. I'm like, I don't know, like, I might never wake up from this. Like, there was a definite concern I had that they were going to put me under and I'd have some pre-existing condition that no one knew about that would then come to light and like, oh, we didn't know he had that condition.
I know a couple of people that have that fear. That's not that uncommon.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
And it happens where like something goes wrong with the scope and it wounds you, you know, like oh, there was nothing wrong with you, but now since we sent a thing in there, like we ripped you up, and so, I don't know, you're just like to put your life into someone else's hands like that, and but now being on the other side of it, I don't know if you ever remember that conversation with that country doctor, probably like 20 years ago out in Swope, where I was concerned about stuff, my bowel movements and stuff. So for a good long while, I've had this in the back of my mind, concern about that area of my body, thinking that there was something wrong down there. And to people that were watching my live stream last night said I seemed lighter in every way, in so many different ways.
Oh, that's
it was
great.
Definitely a psychic weight off my shoulders to have them go in there and to give me basically a clean bill. They did remove one little thing, and they sent that off, and that'll be tested in 7 to 10 days. They'll let me know like what that comes back as. But I feel like even if the news is bad on that front from the research Kethra has done, we still did the best thing.
Oh, definitely.
In terms of all of it. And
Yeah, you
it's
get
not
something,
that scary.
get something that early, you're good.
No, was this at Augusta Health? Is that what they're doing?
Mm-hmm. Yep. For anyone wondering what it's like, I went in and I put on the gown and got into a bed, and then a lady came in and put an IV in me, and like already I'm like, this is just not me.
Have you had an IV before?
This is not
You're like, look at me.
This is not what I do. I don't do things like this.
Have you ever had an IV before?
Mm-mm.
Oh man,
I've never had
really?
anything before.
Wow.
Wow.
Since I was a child and my mom took me, I never took myself for anything. Even when I had a piece of glass in my foot, it was in there for 7 years till it started coming out on its own. And then even then I didn't go to the doctor. I went on tour. I couldn't wear a shoe because a piece of glass was coming out of my foot. And I would soak my foot in Epsom salt every night in the hotel room and try to pry it out with pliers. It still never came out. I ended up arranging an after-hours session with the country doctor that we had as a neighbor, and he let me in his office in after hours and did a little free under the table operation. That was in line with my character. Like that. All right, I'll come in there after hours. We'll just bite down on this piece of rawhide and sip whiskey. Like that was I could relate to that. But I do have to. All right, so back to they put the IV in. I'm in the bed in my gown in this room, and they come in eventually and wheel me in that bed down the hallway and I went. I had no idea what to expect for any of this, and everything I imagined wasn't what it was really like. They wheeled me into this room, and this room is like the deck on the Star Trek Enterprise or something. There's monitors everywhere. There's computers. There's 4 people in there. The anesthesiologist, some other guy, the doctor. And so the doctor, she starts talking into a computer saying, yep, it's all like Star Trek. Patient Nathan Moore, hey, blah, 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 yada, yada, like is doing this dictation about what she's about to do. And so I imagined everything wrong. Like I thought I was going to wear a mask to go under. I thought they would have me like count down from 20 or something like that. And I'd be like 20, 19. And I was so afraid that, 'cause I remember in college once I got called up on stage during a hypnotist act. And after he hypnotized everybody, he came along and he like pulled let your hand fall, or and everybody else, like, their hand stayed up, and he got to me and my hand came back down, and he asked me to get off the stage. Wow. It didn't work on me. So there was a part of me that thought, like,
man, you had some crazy words.
There was a part of me that thought, it's not going to work on me. And I'm going to wake up during it, and I'm going to squirm, and the thing's going to be in there, and like all this stuff. I had all these.
Oh, it broke off in there. What do we do now?
So they wheel me in this room. There's all.
Just throw him back. He can still swim. He'll be all right.
We've got to kill him so we don't tell anybody what happened.
Still swim. All right, so there's all these monitors, there's all these people, and I'm on there, and so they have me roll over on my left side, and I'm sitting there, and they don't have me count down from 20 or anything like that. They have me roll over onto my side, and so I'm there, and then all of a sudden, I'm back in that room.
That's the same way
where I started. I'm back in the freaking room where it started. I didn't, nothing. They didn't even tell me, okay, this is about to, they didn't, nothing really. Like, they just made sure I was comfortable. I started asking questions. I was like, am I lying right? Is this okay? What if, next thing you know, I'm back in the room where I started. Kether's there waiting, just, is like I time traveled. That's what it's like, folks. It's like time travel. Everybody I talked to that had it done before, the catchphrase, and when you sign up for yours, everyone around you that's had it done is going to say this to you. They're going to say, best nap of your life. That's the billboard for a colonoscopy. Best nap of your life.
So Nathan Moore and Katie Couric encourage you to get, wasn't she the colonoscopy lady for a long time?
Oh, I have no idea. Is she the spokesperson?
I think her husband, they found cancer early, so she was really telling people to get their colonoscopy.
Oh, I mean, the nurse beforehand during the prep gave me a really good advocation for, is that a word? Advocation? The act of advocating?
I think so.
But her advocating was pretty good. She's like, basically now, like, if you do this, we've eliminated colon cancer as a threat to your life, because it starts with a little polyp or a little buildup or whatever, and then that just gets worse. But now they go in, they remove those immediately, and as long as you do regular screenings, apparently there's, like, what you really want to hear is, we'll see you in 10 years.
Right.
What you don't want to hear is, we're going to need to see you in a year. And then there's 3 years, which is slightly less good news. I got the midway 5 years. Yeah. So I'm going to be walking on air for the next 5 years, apparently. Just light as a feather.
When you came out of it, and you realized it wasn't that bad, were you flippant with anybody?
I did see a cartoon bird walking down the hallway that I did name Flippant.
Oh, it's Flippant! Hi, Flippant! I was never worried about this.
Yeah, I just strutted on out of there like, yep, see y'all next Wednesday.
That is so weird. It's like, we were talking off air last week. Like, my brother said, he's had, like you said, the best nap. When I came home, I was all wound up, and I went record shopping.
Right.
Like everybody else that comes home, my wife slept for almost like 24 hours, it seemed like.
I'm not sure it was wise because they told me I could eat whatever I wanted to eat, so I ordered a Sicilian pizza. And that maybe was not the smartest move ever. As I was looking at these huge chunks of pizza with too much bread, too much dough, I'm not exactly sure that was the right move. But
That is good. I am very proud of you for doing that. That's
well,
good.
I mean, for someone that's very phobic about all medical procedures, I don't like any of it. The dentist, any of that stuff is just a nightmare to me. It's always a relief after because luckily my wife has been making me do this stuff. And then I go and do it, and I realize just what a relief it is. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Even though I'm being phobic and a coward, I'm also that transmutates in my mind to I'm being brave, and I don't need that. Like I'm self-sustaining, self-reliant individual, and so I convince myself that it's a strong characteristic, but it's really a cowardly characteristic. I realize after I come out of the other side with such relief and so much lighter in the world and such weight off my shoulders, it's not that I wonder what I've been afraid of, but it's just such a revelation to me to realize how good it is to just address that stuff head on. And like even if they do find something wrong, you're in a stronger place addressing it than you are not.
The knowledge just makes everything past that. Anything else you have to have done, you know what IV's like, you know what going under's like. It's just it's knowledge to base faith in on the next time. You're not gonna.
I mean, nine out of 10 times you're going to find out you're in way better health than you thought. And for that 10th out of 10, you're now addressing that thing that was wrong with you,
right.
that might have been in there scaring you or affecting your psyche in different ways. Taking the bull by the horns is powerful stuff.
Now I saw
one of the things I think that compounds it in a lot of situations, and including this one, would be that the longer you hold on to those kind of fears, the more they get a life of their own and have their own little history behind them, and they kind of shield themselves from you making that change. So in other words, the longer you wait, the harder it can be to do something like that, to actually become active. So when you do it, it's a big change. It's a different approach to what you're trying to do in terms of living your life. Because like you say, it only makes good sense that if you have a problem, if you catch it early enough, you're probably better off.
Right.
So that just makes common sense right off the bat. So
Here.
after that, why not? And then you get back to your fears that you're talking about. And that's why we don't do it. Or we don't want to spend the money. And or, you don't want to.
Oh, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, because it can get to be a runaround too. But some of it's just avoiding something. You don't want to hear bad news, and that. But what I'm saying is that can build up into a bigger deal than that.
And it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Certainly, because you're keeping that fear inside. When you're feeling lighter, that's because you literally released something that was holding you in. That's called therapy.
Right.
Now, you don't have to get into stuff you don't want to, but when I had mine, my doctor just said, you're 50, you should probably have one. How did you contact, did you have a doctor that contacted this person, or you reached out?
Well, because of my wife, I now have a doctor.
Oh, okay.
So I went to my first appointment with him last year, I guess. Is he yours, Kerry Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Good guy.
Fine man.
Yep. Music appreciator. We had a great moment where he took my blood pressure and it was pretty high, but a lot of that is because I'm so anxious around doctors, and I'm afraid of what it's going to say, and that fear of what it's going to say jacks it up. So he's like, So then he put it on me again. He started asking me questions about my music.
Oh,
And I started talking about my music, and he did it again, and it went way down.
Oh, that's
It was just
cool.
such a beautiful move. Like,
yeah.
that's so interesting.
Cool.
But because I'm now have a regular scheduled appointment with this doctor of mine, he
So he sort of set it up for you.
he's sort of just like, well, this is what you got to do.
Yeah, that's what mine did.
Yep.
So look at you.
Pretty cool stuff.
And I'm the same. When I had mine done, you just wake up and you're like, I guess they're going to do this soon. And then you look around, they're like, you can put your pants on and go home. Like, you're not even going to do it? No, we did it. Go get out of here.
You know, it's really interesting because, I had one years ago, but my story was the typical horror story.
Oh,
of
no.
Being violated, In other words, I was awake from here up. They gave me some,
That was the old school way of doing it.
yeah. So I was penetrated. So my experience was painful and
Right.
not a good experience at all. But basically, I remember it.
Right.
Wow.
And that's where you get the horror stories that, like if it was always a great nap, you wouldn't have that horror story of the pain of it or the experience itself. You're standing there, like you say, in an apron and everybody's walking around and it's just,
Right.
it's
It's degrading.
it's degrading, and then all of a sudden you're being penetrated and and it hurt.
Right.
No, is this the after hours doctor he was talking about earlier?
Bite onto a piece of rawhide with a sip of whiskey.
Yeah, it was always in the back of a saloon. You knew that.
Right.
That's where they had them in these small towns.
The back of a van. Come out back. I got a van out back. I'm going to stick a flashlight up there and look around. You look all right. Thanks, Doc. Why do they call you Doc? I don't know. I find Augusta Health very relaxing whenever I go out there for anything. I don't know
Some
why.
sweet souls out
Yeah,
there.
it really is.
Well, you always come away with those, especially nurses and stuff, with such a restoration of your faith in humanity. Just such good people.
The patience they
And
have.
and just to realize that they're doing that 8 hours a day, just taking care of people, just calming their fears and saying the right thing and having to deal with God knows what. I just can't imagine all the stuff they got to deal with.
Yep.
And they just keep at it.
Now, I couldn't tell from the picture you had. Did you have something like, what did it say, best wishes or something? Who gave you that? Or was that just...
Oh, that was just my name tag.
They put best wishes on it?
No, there was a plaque behind me
Oh.
that said "You got this," and I have a song called "You Got This." So
Oh,
I
I
took
thought-
a picture with that.
Oh, I
it was
thought-
so I'm there like I thought it was. I walk up to the reception when I first walk in. There's a little plaque right next to her. It says "You Got This," which is the name of one of my songs from Holler and Hope, and so I saw that as a good sign, and but I'm bummed, and then I was taking a picture with my little name bracelet and stuff with the "You Got This" sign behind there, and the lady behind the computer, she looks at me with just the sweetest face, the sweetest look in her eyes, and was like, "You do, you do."
Oh. I thought it was something Kethra gave you, something to wear on your wrist.
No. You
That's
you
good.
I was like, "Oh," she's like, "No, you really do."
That's nice.
It was very sweet. I realized I messed up my timing of everything because earlier today I was thinking we would be talking about the debate a little bit, and I was going to say, well, speaking of the debate, I got a colonoscopy yesterday. I was going to...
Talking about the debate, they got me all jacked up on drugs and gave me a colonoscopy. No, not talking about politics really, but what do you think about them doing a drug test before?
Are they? They aren't.
Well, no, Trump, wanted to do a drug test just because he, says Biden's. But I don't see why would either one of, why would any presidential candidate disagree to do that?
What do they test for?
Yeah, that's the question.
I guess something that would get you more alert and more. I mean,
Performance enhancing drugs. This is like the Olympics.
For
Or
a
it's like
speech, what is that? Adderall or something?
Adderall seems like it would work. But I bet if you're
it's a,
in that echelon, there's probably a million different cocktails they have. Like
it's a damn Vienna sausage juice that Biden is drinking.
Bohemian Grove kind of cocktails.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. Are you gonna watch it?
Well, I am eventually. I'm
want
taping
to.
it, and I'll probably flip back and start it and see how it goes, and might have to watch it a little bit at a time. I can't eat a big meal anymore. I get kind of nauseous.
Again, not talking politics. Just don't say anybody's names. But what do you expect? Like a civilized, nice thing, or some weird, crazy stuff?
I expect that I will be enraptured because I've always found it very hard to turn away from a slow train wreck.
That's the way I feel too.
It's like that. It's like that documentary on Altamont. You ever seen that? Where the Rolling Stones are put on a free concert and it all just devolves into this chaos and somebody dies and everything. And I probably watched that 20 times. It's hard to turn away from seeing entropy in real time in motion.
No,
But it'll be. I mean, it's going to be fascinating on so many levels.
this is we're getting away from politics. Remember we talked about scent a couple of days ago, or a couple of weeks ago. I was reading something. This old German philosopher said that scent is not like a vision or taste. Scent is actually your soul.
Interesting.
So it's your soul identifying who you should like if you fell in love with somebody, basically your nose.
It's because of the way they smelled.
And I was having a discussion with that with a couple of people a couple of nights ago. I was like, that is like the cool. I mean, I don't know if I believe that, but that's such a weird thing that your scent is your soul reaching out, trying to find what you're looking for. You have any thoughts on that?
And I think it's a fascinating hypothesis because I don't think many of us would relate to that.
I never
But
thought.
the idea that it might be true is so fascinating.
Damn, way to go! That's what I thought. I was like, that's bullshit. But why am I believing it? Oh my god! I mean, how he even came up with that? Like, because it's like it's not really as identifiable as sight or touch or taste, but it's like you just get this smell. I mean, I don't even I can't really explain
I
it.
bet
but
Percy's up there perking up right now. Right? Go on.
I know.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, people are like that too. Some people, yeah, I think people that have a really good sense of taste and smell goes together. But I think some people have that's really well developed, and it comes out in your food or thing. So other people just don't. It's just like music. Some people just are, like I don't hear certain frequencies. There's just certain smells that I might not be getting that make your love of the cinnamon or the tarragon, whatever the flavor is, you pick that up. Whereas another person might just want a potato. They don't really pick up that as a unique experience. So.
Well, I was talking about it with two ladies, and they both could identify the smell, like the people that they were most important to them. Oh yeah. And how when they think of that person, that smell sort of comes back to them in a good way. And
I wonder if, to a certain extent, our use of artificial scents is throwing the calibration of our soul reaching out for our matches or whatever. It's like interference from. Because I bet each person's individual smell is unique, like a fingerprint almost.
Well, we talked about, or I don't know if we talked about it, I was thinking about it. It's almost like the cologne or the soap's just a way to draw someone in so they can get close to you and smell what you actually, like most of the time you're not that close to somebody, you can smell what they smell like.
Right.
But if you are enchanted or tranced to come closer, you can be like, smell my real smell. I don't
I
know.
like it. I like it.
Oh,
So we're not allowed to talk politics. Is that what I hear?
someone just said, "Oh, please don't talk politics."
So without naming names, that was a coworker that said
It
that?
was actually a guy that's been here with his son. I remember Steve.
Mm.
He lives right next door to where I work, and he yelled out, "Doing the show tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, we're doing a debate." He's like, "Oh my God, don't talk politics."
You're not supposed to talk politics, right? Or religion. That's an old adage at the dinner table, I guess.
No.
Or
Well, I don't see any reason to have any rules.
right.
We're not going to abuse anything with it, but
Mhm.
just to say you can't go there. But I'll shut you down if you need to be shut down. But I think
Well, it's funny because when I told him, he said, "We'll have no problem with that." He goes, "Unless Nathan's gone on some kind of deep dive."
Audible. Well, I mean, this new craze of what the bill Louisiana passed, where the Ten Commandments has to be in every classroom from kindergarten through college. Oklahoma today followed suit and has put forth a new rule that every classroom has to have a Bible and the teachers have to teach from it. And I don't even...
What?
I read the whole article and I still don't understand in practice what they even mean. Like, you as a chemistry teacher, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, you're getting incoming. All right, we'll stop talking politics. Gosh. Boy, they're not kidding about this.
Oh my God, it's Oklahoma. Call me. How should we teach chemistry, Mr. Moore, from the Bible?
It's Oklahoma calling. At least your bell is working. All right, I'm looking at the chats now. Hey, Clutch. Oh, Saul. Greetings from Fort Lauderdale. They just went on a Disney cruise with his daughters and his grandson.
wow.
Memories forever. Saw some really fun pictures of them dressed up like pirates and stuff. So glad y'all did that. It'll be great to have you back home.
Very good.
Doing a double date with one of your other sons tomorrow night for our wedding anniversary, because we got married on a day apart, Joe and me, and
Well, the same year, or different years?
different years.
Okay.
What y'all
So
gonna
we're
do?
celebrating our 5th, which is, it feels like it was just yesterday, but it's our 5th wedding anniversary. I think we're gonna go to the scene of our original date, to the Mill Street. I told Joe, I was like, we were trying to. We wanted to go to Buckhorn, but they're not open this weekend for some reason.
That's weird. I just saw that they'd be closed. I never even
don't
pay
even-
attention to them. I saw something pop up. We'll be closed this week.
That's weird. So now Facebook algorithms are using your friends even to decide what to
that's
show
good.
you.
So that means you'll go back to your original date.
Yeah, the last time Joe and I ate there together, though, we did a rib eating competition, and it ruined
At
me. I was
Buckhorn?
ruined for a couple of days, and
I need a colonoscopy.
Right. So I told him, like, well, if we go to Mill Street, I've retired from competitive eating. So
Please.
he's like, well, okay, well, this time we'll just we'll critique it based on our culinary.
Now, didn't the Mill Street have the owner step down or something? It's been there for like 35
that's
years
true.
or something.
I do remember that.
Yeah, he's retiring.
Is it new ownership that's staying?
I don't know.
Or maybe he's just not going to be there all the time.
Yeah,
or something. God, now I haven't been there for a long time. I want to go there.
Yeah, me neither. It's been a while. I'm pretty excited about that. And then apparently Sunday night, with Lex and Corey are taking us to the escape room. We're doing the escape room.
Wow.
Never done that.
Man.
I'm very intrigued and very surprised that place still exists, because it's been there for years now.
No, it's so. Have you been down?
Right?
Oh yeah.
That's so fun.
After you do it, you might want to do it again. It's
Right.
cool.
And
We
you'll
have,
ha-
we have different ones.
And you'll have the best nap after you do it.
Yeah, it's the best, second best nap you'll ever. Yeah, they're fun. I'm
So
looking forward to it.
what's the idea? It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, it's like you are in a room and you have to figure out where the key is or what the code is to get out.
With the
and it's a
timer counting
series,
down.
yeah, there's a series of really clever clues that lead to other clues that lead to other clues that lead to other clues. And you put them all together, and usually there's like some kind of like a guide in there, like a book of some kind. Usually that's like gives you a start.
It's usually the Bible.
A starting point.
The governor's looking into making it be the Bible.
Yeah.
I can't believe we haven't done this yet because it's been a
Yep.
running theme here for years now. That Catherine and I always joke that we're a detective agency, and whenever something happens, we're like the 108's on the case.
We're going to be put to the test. They're not easy.
No.
They're very brain teasy.
Yeah, and you have to pay attention to everything in the room while you're looking around.
Oh, I'm excited.
But also, I know we can't talk presidential politics, but
We can though.
But
There's no rules.
But can we talk? But can we talk about people running for city council?
Yes, we
Hey.
can.
Is there
Hey.
is there any good candidates for supporting?
Corey for Stanton, Corey for council, Corey for you, come election day. Corey Park
Yay!
for Stanton City Council.
Yay! Corey
Wait.
Park.
Not only is she just an amazing person, an amazing soul, but her resume is so perfect for city council. She's a small business owner, teacher of history at Stewart Hall, the mother of 2 children. Like, it's just such a great resume. It's like she cares. She has her she's involved with all the things that are indicative of what city council can interplay with or whatever. So she shares the concerns of so many people, and she has such a big heart.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
no-brainer.
really know her that well, but I would trust her with anything that I had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Any major decision, if they said you need somebody to help you, if I had her phone number, I would call her.
Mm-hmm. Not an ideologue, but has convictions. What do you think the difference is between an ideologue and someone with convictions?
I'm not very familiar with the term ideologue.
Like someone that's sort of driven by an agenda of some sort. That's.
Well, I guess it depends on their agenda.
But a person with convictions would have an agenda as
Well,
well because they have convictions.
That's what I'm saying. Depends on the source for both of those.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about here?
Right.
Is your agenda about power or fear or money or what? Yeah, human beings all have an agenda.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you have an ideology?
Kinda.
That seems scary. That word seems scary.
It does
to
seem
me.
scary, right?
Yeah, I don't know. When you say that, like, I have my own ideology, but if you're asking me if I know of any other ideologies that I would ascribe to that, I'd say, I don't know. I mean, there's some things I believe that another ideology wouldn't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
So I've developed my own ideology over the years.
Right.
And this is what I'll say to the people that knock on the door and want to save my soul. I'll start talking like this, and about a half hour later, they get tired and walk away.
He came down to my house today. I come out on the porch. I'm like, oh man, we're running late. We got 10 minutes to get there. He said, well, I need to tell you something. Sit down.
Sit down.
And I'm like, he said, if a Seventh-day Adventist came to your house right now, and saw that cat with a noose around its neck and all these beer bottles out here, they would be worried about you. I was like, yeah, I gotta get that noose off the cat.
Wait, what noose is around the cat's neck? What's good? What is this?
It was a statue of a cat.
Oh, a statue.
And he had thrown a leash.
I didn't do it. Somebody did it, but I didn't do it.
Said you did it. Somebody gave it to you and you put it around the cat's neck. But he thought it was a leash and I looked at it and it was a noose. So I just think of those poor little Seventh-day Adventist cult girls knocking on his door, just licking their chops about there's cigarette butts and joint butts, and I mean they've got.
It's almost a fly strip for a Jehovah's Witness. They're just kind of like a moth to a flame. They're coming right there.
They're gonna
There's
have
a soul to save in this joint.
You'll get a red star on the street for everybody to stop by.
It's funny because some friends came over this weekend, and I hadn't even noticed it. I lived there. I didn't even notice it. The guy said, "What's that rope tied around your fence for?" I said, "What rope?" He goes, "You got a piece of rope tied around your fence." And I just said something like it. I just said something about so the hobos know where to come for a free meal. But so I took it off because it did sort of worry me, like, why is this rope tied to my fence?
So you didn't put it there.
No, somebody just walked by and tied.
Seventh-day Adventist put it on there to let other people know.
So they tied. It was like God. Jane identified the knot. I don't even know what type of knot it was. So it was laying on the front porch. So another friend came over, and they had been over earlier and said that the cat reminded them of something from a scary movie. And we were just talking about it. So then when she saw the rope, she's like, "Oh, perfect!" And she made a noose and put it around the cat. So then he's like dead serious. I know we're
Sit down for a second. I know we're running late.
I know we're running late, but I just need to tell you.
You gotta help
one thing.
somebody when you see them just wide open like that. You just gotta help. It's like a wounded animal.
Right.
You just can't walk by.
Right.
So I took the noose off.
Well, you guys are so late. We haven't even really caught up. How's your week been since I saw you last?
I've been doing pretty good.
Good.
I've changed some things, and at my age, that's the real challenge. And I think it goes back to some of what we were saying about you taking, you going out, and thanks to the impetus of your lovely wife kicking your ass in there, but you took on something and tried to do it a different way than you've been doing. And that's what I've been trying to do in small ways. Like, for instance, it only took 2 people to help me go to Walmart over the weekend. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I was at Walmart with 2 aides, and we made it in and out. Not only that, I did something I thought I would never do.
What was different about that?
About what?
You trying to do something different.
Oh, I haven't been to Walmart in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And I had anxiety about going in Walmart.
Gotcha.
I just get hung up, and I don't know how to behave. And I faced it. I didn't need the help.
What'd you get?
Oh, I got some tomato plants and just little odds and ends of things. I got some brackets and built and put up a hummingbird feeder.
Oh, cool.
So I did some things, and then we went to the groceries and everything, so I got some groceries. But it was just being at Walmart. Well, the other thing, I got hung up in the toy section. I hadn't been to Walmart in so long, but their toy section was just amazing.
Yeah,
it was crazy. And so I have all these grandchildren I never get anything for because I'm never out buying. So I wanted to get something.
Stock up
for everything, and I just had trouble getting out of there. And then
do you still, when you're in the toy section, do you have do some of your childlike instincts resurface?
Oh, definitely. I look, and not only childhood, like I go to look at the racquetball stuff and the tennis stuff. So I'm still reliving my toys fantasies first, but yeah. I have a little bit more trouble picking out stuff for the girls, but there's so many cool things now that are unisexual for one thing. But yeah, that was
Chemistry sets.
yeah, yeah.
It was so fun when we went out on last weekend. We went out to the river, and they had where everybody was sitting. They had a sandbox. I don't even know if you noticed, was a sandbox right behind the thing, and they had a big yellow Tonka truck. And when nobody was looking, I took a picture of it. Like, oh my God, this is childhood right here. A big yellow metal Tonka truck.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if they weren't looking, I'd steal this thing right now and like run to the car.
His
That
childhood
was so
dreams.
cool.
Yeah.
It was one of those big ones too, like this big. I was like, God, I'm so jealous.
Of children.
Man, we used to love Tonkas. You could just throw dirt and rocks in those things, and we never. I don't think we ever broke one of them. As rough as we were on them.
I also got our sons in our backyard, man. It's lost its paint on part of it, but it's still
Isn't that
rolls.
crazy?
And both kids grew up taking rides in that thing. I'd put them in the back of it and roll them around. And stuff. Like when they were that
Man,
small.
Tonka was like one. That was like they should make real cars. Those things last forever.
Good point.
Man.
Oh man, real Tonka car. Oh my God.
But-
why haven't they even done that?
But of course, you'd have to push them. There'd be no engine, so it wouldn't be that great for the pusher. But
When we were in high school, we used to have no engine drag races in the parking lot of the Food Lion. So it
What?
was just like two groups of friends, and you'd have to have like 10 people out there pushing your car.
oh my God!
So we'd have like, you weren't allowed to cut on your engine, but we'd have drag races. So you
Oh
had
my
to-
God!
I want kid on my team. You know, you had to pick teams or whatever.
Oh, that's
and-
over on Coulter Street, Food Lion.
Mhm.
What?
That was our hang parking lot back in the Pizza Hut and behind the Food
Oh, I
Lion.
remember when Pizza Hut was there. Yeah.
They had a little skate ramp back behind the Food Lion.
Yeah.
Everything.
I remember
Yep.
Pizza Hut being back. That was the old days, man. That was fun.
We used to do such ridiculous stuff for fun.
Do you remember when the Hardee's was there? That was a long time ago. This is like a.
Wait, the Hardy?
It was like where Pizza Hut was. There used to be a Hardee's like out in front of that.
No, really? Maybe.
Like
vaguely.
that was. I think that was the first thing there. One time we went. It was me, my mom, and my brother, and we all said, my mom was buying us milkshakes, and we all wanted chocolate or vanilla, whatever it was. So my brother comes out and goes, "Who ordered like the other flavor?" We're like, dumbass, nobody ordered that flavor. Like, who ordered vanilla? Like, nobody ordered vanilla, you moron. He's like standing there with a big smile on his face. Like, just knocking at him, saying, go back and get what we ordered.
What? I don't know if I followed that story.
It was like we all ordered the same thing. I can't remember if it was like 3 chocolate milkshakes or 3 vanilla. I can't remember what it was. And he comes out with this big smile on his face. Like, who? Like, he had 2 of one and 1 of the other. Like, who ordered chocolate? I got it just for you. Or like, nobody ordered chocolate, you moron. What could be more simple than order 3 of the same thing?
Now, why is that an indelible memory?
We
for you?
still, he still bring, whenever I'm kidding him, he's like, well, I'm the one that ordered the milkshake. That is crazy. It's like, I mean, I think I must have smelled it. I saw his soul when I saw that. Oh my God.
There you go. Those revealing moments when they reveal their soul.
So that you went to Walmart, and then where'd you go? It sounded like you went somewhere else.
Walmart was about where I was
Okay.
different. I did because we got groceries up to Walmart too.
Was there something else on your list of things you're doing different lately?
Yeah, that's what it was. You said 2, so.
Let's see. I had several things. Some of the things I've been buying at the store have been I've been experimenting with different tastes. So I got some very strange. Instead of just getting my package of fillets, tuna or whatever, I got one in there that's kind of some type of a Thai seared. You know, it sounded like it was too hot to eat. You know, so I'm stepping up and challenging my taste buds in different ways.
That's good.
Yeah.
And experimenting with what different foods, how they affect your health and mood and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been.
We've often been concerned about your diet.
Well, I think it's a legitimate concern, and you know, it's an interesting one. But I'm very aware of protein. I try to get enough protein. And
What's your main source of that?
fish and peanut butter and beans.
How do you eat your peanut butter?
Toast it and
Oh, you spread it on bread.
spread it on bread.
So I have a whole peanut butter thing. I eat it right out
banana.
of the can. I eat it right out of the jar.
I have those little crackers that I like, and then just wrap
Yeah, that's
every
so
time I
good.
walk through. And I eat a lot of fruit. I'm really
that's good.
a lot of fresh fruit, cherries and grapes and pineapple chunks. I'm in the pineapple chunks now.
Those are so good.
They are good. And last night, you know, I needed some protein, and I had a can of, because of you, of Vienna sausage. I'm not ashamed of it. I did it. They were good.
I sent a picture to all these guys the other day. It was a meme of it's hot out there, stay hydrated, with someone drinking the juice from a Vienna sausage can.
I thought that was you. I apologize. That was you.
It's funny. You
Do you
two.
drink the juice before we
Oh,
move
please
on?
say no.
No.
You don't?
No. You don't drink that juice.
I drink the juice.
Oh, Nathan.
I do.
Did you tell him that
I
when
drink
you went
the
for a
juice from
colonoscopy?
sardines too.
Oh, Nathan.
It's just better than worrying about spilling it.
Does Catherine
It's not
kiss-
even because I
does
think it's
Catherine
that
kiss you
delicious.
on the lips?
It's almost more of a utilitarian move because I don't want it
Oh.
getting all over everything.
You don't want Vienna sausage stains on your pants.
No, you don't. You don't.
I've
or
had
in your
that.
chair.
I've had that happen, and it's embarrassing any way you look at it.
No matter- yeah,
You
just
can't
like
even be honest anymore. What do you say?
He used to make me, and I thought they were the most delicious things in the world, but Vienna sausage sandwiches.
Oh.
And he would take each sausage out and slice it in half and stick it on the bread with mayonnaise. Bam.
Yeah.
I haven't had one of those in too long.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have one next summer.
Surprisingly good sandwich there.
Now I've thought about this, not a lot, but maybe let's say 10 times since I met y'all. Both of y'all seem like you know how to make fish, and I've never had any fish that y'all have made. I think, in my mind, I imagine you both making a good fish meal.
Well, I knew how to fry trout.
Yeah, you did.
See, that sounds good.
But frying's a lot of trouble, and I don't do it. When I get these ocean fish, all I'm doing is letting them thaw and putting a whole lot of that Chesapeake Bay sauce. I just cover it on both sides, a little oil, and then bake it till it's done.
Now, do you bake or fry? Or both?
I usually, a lot of times I'll sear it on the stove and then throw it in the oven to finish. There's just a sidebar. I forget what kind of chip it is, but there's a new chip out there, like potato chips or popcorn or something that's Old Bay seasoning flavored. I saw an ad for that the other day. I want to
Yeah.
keep an eye out next time you're at Walmart.
Yeah, I'd like to give that a shot.
Yeah, how could that not be good?
Okay, so Joe and Elliot are out there.
All
watching.
right, hey.
And Joe says, Dad makes the best and worst carp burgers east of the Mississippi.
What
Care to
burgers?
explain that? Carp burgers.
Carp burgers.
I thought you said fart burgers. Dinner's ready.
Oh no, worse than that.
Carp
Hey,
are,
Elliot,
carp are a
Hey,
weird
Joe.
fish. Uh-oh.
what?
Maybe the camera overheated.
Oh my goodness.
Talking about carp burgers, the
I think
camera
our mic
just
is
did.
still on, so.
Mics are on.
Carp is a weird fish because of, what do you call it, floating bones?
free floating bone.
Free floating bones.
Yeah.
So what is your carp burger?
Well, I was trying to get the meat out of the carp and grind it up and turn it into a burger, but I never succeeded in doing a very good job.
Because
of
there's
it.
too many bones.
Well, it was just didn't taste good, and it was just never turned out good.
Now fish, you can sort of eat fish bones, though, can't you?
Yeah, and you could steam if you steam it long enough, the bones would kind of melt. So you could, but if you just try to cook it, it'd just be mealy and yucky.
You couldn't do that with trout, could you? Get the bones to an edible state.
You wouldn't want to, no.
Right. Well, it's when you open up like a can of salmon that has the bones in there still, and I've always been curious how they pull that off. But it's more like just cartilage, not like bone bones.
Right.
But you can eat them.
I worked with a guy that ate a lot of fish, caught a lot of fish, ate a lot of fish, and there was a week where he was having a lot of stomach problems, and like after a few days, one morning we showed up, and he was like, he couldn't even stand up straight, and he was in such pain. We were like, man, we're gonna call an ambulance or something, man. And we did, and they took him to the hospital, and he had to have emergency surgery because a tiny piece of fish bone just barely stuck into the side of one of his intestines from the inside, just a little bit, and just over the course of time developed an infection, and he was going septic and everything. It was about to burst, and I mean, they were like, could have been minutes away from this whole thing rupturing, and that would have been really bad. So I am terrified. I think about
Boy,
that
just
all
when I got
the
Kethra to
time.
start eating some trout.
Sorry.
Now, is trout, is that your favorite?
I do love trout.
Is that your favorite too?
Oh yeah.
When I'd looked at the Buckhorn Inn menu for our double date, I was pre-planning what I would order, and I saw they had trout, and I lit up. I was like, oh, that's what I'm getting.
No, do you think they use local trout out there that they catch, or they?
No. But trout, like a whole thing. I mean, it was always a staple growing up that you always had some like buttered white bread, which the idea of it was to help the bones, in case you got a bone stuck in your throat or something. It would help any bone. Because one of the things about eating trout that you catch locally here, a staple of my growing up, anyways, was your whole technique, because you get served the whole fish on your plate and it still has all the bones in it.
Right.
So like a lot of people just can't deal with that. It's too much.
That's how you do it too?
Oh yeah.
But then there's, it's such a fun thing too, because as a child you get taught by the adult how to and every different adults will have a different strategy, and a lot of you go down the spine first, right?
Is the bone like all in the spine, or is it all?
I mean,
down
it's a
long?
all the way down the back, and then around both sides of the fish.
Wow.
So but it can be so satisfying once you get good at it, when you pull that whole thing out, set it to the side. But it's it's a whole thing, and there's going to be a few loose ones in there. That's why you have the bread that you eat in case one gets stuck in your throat. But now with that story, I don't even know what to do with that information. But I've heard the same thing. I've heard the same horror story about a corn kernel from popcorn. The unpopped corn kernels. Someone got stuck in their intestine somewhere and became an issue. And it's sort of scared me about popcorn or whatever. But then, what can you do? You could probably tell that story about anything.
I've heard about it with fingernails too, not to.
Fingernails.
No, like people that chew their fingernails, like some of that stuff that they end up like swallowing some of it, and yeah, I've heard of that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the person,
But back to the carp burgers before we get too far away from it, because I do remember. I don't know. Maybe you can tell if you remember it better than I do. The carp. All I know is that Dad at one point did put a carp in a blender.
Well, I cut off the meat and tried to get as much meat from that main bone, and then I had steamed it already. I'd already steamed it and cooked it some, So I peeled off that, and then I put it in the blender and put in some onions and spices to try to make hamburger out of
So
it.
then you tried to make patties. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and then I made the patties, and it was horrible.
It was horrible.
They were terrible.
It was horrible.
They were very not really edible. I didn't think.
Why wouldn't they be edible?
I have no idea.
So if
But
you ever had-
there is an expression people have used, I've heard before, is "you are what you eat." And if you ever been over to the duck pond and you know what those carp are eating, they're eating duck shit. So if you caught the carp and took it home, it would probably taste like duck shit. And that's what I'd say the carp that I made. He was a cleaner version than a park carp, but
Right.
he was still a carp, and they feed off the bottom.
Bottom feeders.
Bottom feeders.
Yeah.
now, what do you put on a carp burger? Like, do you put lettuce and tomato?
I
or
put a lot of
ketchup, or-
mayonnaise and a tomato and 3 onions. And if you have
And a hamburger.
if you have a hamburger, please put it on there.
and I soaked it in Jack Daniels.
Have you ever had a carp that tasted good, but prepared by somebody else? Or?
No, and the people eat, I think, carp. They ferment them, and you know they get softened up. So it's not just cooking them when they catch them. I think they treat them and do so that they soften up. So those bones will melt. So however you do it.
So like carp wouldn't be on a restaurant menu.
It's so sad because if carp was delicious, it would be such a game changer because they get so big.
But there are parts of the world that eat carp.
Mm-hmm. And they probably have some tricks up their sleeve,
Yeah.
like you say, fermenting.
But a
whatever
lot
it
of it,
is.
I think, is where they, what they feed on too. Because like in the Far East, where they have the rice paddies, that's where they have the.
You are what you eat, so they're over there eating
They're
something
eat,
different
they're
than they
eating
eat
the
around.
rice and just they're getting the protein from the everything that they get. But
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Man, the chat is just going off. Bravo, chat. All you guys get something from the thrift store tonight.
Nice.
But Joe is so, okay, tech support, just backing up a little off topic, but tech support he still wanted to know whether Joe won or lost in Luray. And so Joe has come back. There's some serious stuff happening
Oh,
in
wow.
this chat tonight.
So they're talking about it?
So Joe has admitted that they won in Luray.
Oh, they did.
High school baseball game. Pretty sure I scored the winning run, which was a magical night in the valley. Bravo, Joe.
Good memories.
But then Joe goes on to say that, getting back on topic, is that they eat carp for Christmas in Prague. Tastes good, he said.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
yeah.
They eat carp for Christmas in Prague.
There are
That's a-
cultures where carp is a accepted.
That's
food.
another old John Prine song.
I was going to say, that's about to be an old Nathan Moore song once I get done with it. Yep. Carp for Christmas in Prague.
Now, real quick.
Let's go to
we
Prague
want-
for Christmas and have some carp.
Going back to, do you eat smooth or crunchy peanut butter, both of you?
Crunchy.
How about you?
What's that?
Do you eat smooth or crunchy peanut butter?
I used to be crunchy all the way, but since I lost my teeth,
Okay,
I'm now
smooth.
creamy.
Now, do you notice a
How
difference?
about you?
Oh, crunchy. The crunchier, the better.
Crunchier the better. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
throw peanuts in there if I have some.
No, I loved crunchy. But that was when I was a virile youth.
That's what I was eating live carp right out of the river.
Yeah, the carp are all back in. We didn't cook them back in. We just started at the tail, work our way up.
Like my carp, like I like my peanut butter.
I gotta go upstairs and shit out these bones.
Just give me a knife and
That's a
a
little too
cracker and
flippant,
leave
I
me
think.
alone.
Sidebar, a little life hack. It was quite a revelation when I realized that if you're eating peanut butter straight from the tub, like I like to do, a fork is actually the best utensil because none of it sticks to it. It's easy. Your tongue goes between the prongs and cleans it, where it's really hard to clean a spoon entirely before you go back in.
Well, I think I I wasn't that smart, but I use a knife because there's
Oh, a
less
knife.
stuff to stick to. Not like a sharp knife, but like just a regular, you know.
I still bet a fork is better
bet
because
you-
your
yeah,
your
I think it
tongue
is.
goes between the
Right.
tongs
Yeah, you
and
don't
can
have to
really
fight.
clean it. Yep,
Yeah.
you don't have to fight it.
You don't get a cramp.
Yep.
nothing.
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
Sometimes you
Well
get
said. Just sometimes you get cramps. Yep. It
You get
solves that
cramp?
whole dilemma.
You get
The
cramp.
tongue, trying to get that peanut butter off from the bottom of the spoon.
Especially if you've been working like 4 spoonfuls of peanut butter already.
Yeah, it's late in the game when that becomes an issue, but it's there. I related immediately when he said it.
Are you a pickle fan?
I'm a pickle fan.
Have you ever had a pickle and peanut butter sandwich?
No, I have not.
I
Elvis.
grew up eating those, and Jane just told me
You grew up eating
I,
those?
mean, I would eat those
It's a
all
thing?
the time. And so Jane just told me like 2 weeks ago she was gonna try a pickle on a peanut butter. I was like, yes, and she said she liked it.
Is that a cultural thing or a family thing?
I think it was just because my parents both worked, and I was a lazy,
You made it up?
ignorant person. So it was like
You invented it.
I love pickles and I love peanut butter.
Yeah, but that just doesn't seem
Oh,
right.
it's so good.
You didn't know
It's
Elvis
just-
did it either?
Well,
Well, no, he had pickles and something.
his famous thing was
Peanut butter
peanut
and-
butter and banana and
yeah,
bacon
peanut butter and
with
banana,
bacon on
yeah.
it, which
He had more of a
does
sweet
sound-
tooth
Do
than
that.
I
I could do
did.
that.
it does sound pretty awesome.
Peanut butter, pickle, and cheese, though. A slice of cheese. Oh, man. That is good.
Now, what kind of pickle are you talking about?
Big
Yeah,
old dill, get a dill
dill-
pickle,
The
slice
dill
it
pickle.
up,
Well, that's
slice
a
it
world of
up.
difference. Because I'm a gherkin boy.
Yeah, I do like
I'm a gherkin guy. I go all the way with a gherkin, but those dill pickles, they can have an attitude.
On some,
gherkin.
on some toast. Oh my God, that's a treat.
I do like a good bread and butter too.
Yeah.
All the above.
Tomato sandwiches, you like those?
No.
You don't like tomato sandwiches?
No, I love
it.
BLTs.
Okay.
I do love a BLT.
Do you like tomato sandwiches?
Oh yeah.
I would think you
I do
would.
not like tomato on my hamburger. I feel like it interrupts the whole situation, and that's why God made ketchup.
No, do you have lettuce and onions and stuff?
I
on
do
it?
like lettuce. I like onions,
Cheese-
grilled or raw.
cheeseburger or just regular burger.
I don't do cheese. Although
Swiss?
I'm starting to change. I'm starting to come around. Cather is always a cheeseburger, and I never will. I don't like any. I like only things that seem to me to complement the burger itself, and tomatoes and cheese always seem to steal attention away from
Wow.
it, like they were show stealers or something. Whereas a lettuce, or they feel like more still in the condiment world. But I'm starting to come around. I don't think I'll ever put a tomato on there though.
Because you're a performer, you just like the backup singers behind you all the time.
Yeah.
Lettuce, pickles, get back there.
Everything has its place. Oh wait, I had another side note. I did have another sidebar, but I forgot what it was. Another life hack. That's all right.
Fork for the peanut butter.
Yeah, it was fork for the.
No, do you have a favorite type of jelly? You're not a jelly guy.
Now that's
Jam.
a more sophisticated move from my middle of the night little dips into the peanut butter is nowadays I'll take. Catherine might not want to know this, but a jar of jelly, and you know, a dip of peanut butter and then a dip of jelly and mix them in the mouth.
I used to do that, and I felt so bad that now I use 2 spoons. But
Oh,
I still do it.
just stay by the sink and wash after every one.
No, a peanut butter spoon. and
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
And just follow it up.
Oh, bam, bam. You don't have that delay. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
No, how about, are you smooth or crunchy peanut butter?
It's smooth. I like cream. Yep. I like
Creamy.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
just doesn't make any sense. You know? I mean, it makes sense because you don't have teeth. So, and of
Do you
course
have
you were.
teeth?
Yes. I got half one back here too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. I'm not eating crunchy peanut butter, especially right now. Grayson
Right.
likes it. My son likes it. So it would always make its way into our household.
The crunchy.
And I would always be like, ooh,
Well, yeah, actually.
I got the bread out. Who brought this crunchy peanut butter?
And, you know, it's the big economical family size too, so it's going to take a while to get through. But hey, it could be worse.
Damn kids.
It could be sunflower butter or something like that. It could be a lot worse.
Right. Oh, there's one of these peanut butters you can get at Food Line. It tastes like birthday cake. It's so good, but it's one of those ones you got to stir the
Wait,
oil.
You said peanut butter. All right.
But then, so after, if you don't eat it like within like 6 weeks, it's like a cement block. You just have to throw it away.
Yeah, right.
It's so good.
Boy,
But
does anybody have a life hack for making that move easier? You ever get
What?
that? The natural peanut butter that when you first buy it, the oil is all at the top, so you have to stir it.
I bought
to
that one time. I
reintegrate
didn't.
it,
Yeah, I didn't like it.
and it's not easy.
No.
It's never easy.
and then it just disappears. It's like damn Vienna sausage juice. It just disappears, and you're like stuck with this. I guess like a mint, like a peanut butter mint you can suck on or something.
I do think the move for when you buy that is more of a churning action than a stirring
Up and
action.
down.
To get the fork in there and but it's always makes a mess. The first
Yeah.
move always spills some of that oil out on your, mixes in with your Vienna sausage juice in your lap. Next thing you know, you're never leaving the house again.
I gotta put this jar where I can barely hold it with all the oils on it. I am the worst cook of all times, but yesterday I came home and I had some hamburger I'd taken out of the freezer. And I thought I had tacos, but I didn't. I was like, daggone it. But I had tortillas, so I just got tortillas. I thought I bought all this stuff for tacos, but I didn't have jack shit. But so I got these big tortillas with hamburger, tomatoes, and I just sat there with that thing of hot sauce. Like every bite I'd take, I'd put more hot sauce
Oh, when you
on
say
it.
tortillas, you mean the chips.
No, it's just like the tortilla wrap, like a burrito or something.
Right.
And by the end of the night,
Why didn't you just make a burrito?
because I was lazy and I wanted tacos, but and I put cheese on it. But by the end of the night, the damn hot sauce bottle was so slick I could barely pick it up and put it back in the thing. And I thought, why am I so lazy? Why am I so stupid? No wonder I have diabetes. I should have eaten fish. I should have eaten carp right now. Y'all should have a fish fry. Charge everybody $15 to come eat. No carp, though.
Joe did say there should be a trout eating lesson on the show one night.
Yeah.
A little trout eating demo.
Yeah, you can
Right.
show me how to do it. I'd love to try it.
It can be so satisfying when it comes out right.
Wait a minute. So you're just making it sound like it's something hard to do.
I've never tried.
Oh,
I've
you never done
it.
that?
I don't think I've ever tried. Yeah.
Wow.
But
So
I
what's
need to
hard
know
about
these
it?
things. I need to know these things.
Especially now that you got a little river spot.
Got a little river spot. I mean, I don't want to just throw them back.
Yep. Yep.
Not all of them.
Nope.
Probably.
Yeah, it's very satisfying, I think.
Do you remember the first time you ever made a trout, cooked a trout? Like when you were like a
I
kid?
grew up eating what my dad caught, so I was eating it before I went fishing. I was eating it when I was a little baby.
But do you remember like a special night out by the fire, cooking one over the grill or anything, or cooking one over the fire?
Nah, we just fried them in a frying pan.
Cast iron skillet.
Probably remember the smell of the house on fish night.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good point. That does a great smell. That would bring you in from the ball field.
Yep.
Have either of y'all been to Blue Point?
Love Blue Point.
Have you been there?
I haven't been for a long time, but I have been.
haven't been
I've
for a long
always
time
thought they
either.
did a good job there.
They do a great job there. They have good sources for their seafood.
Oh,
Because
really?
we actually live close enough to Chesapeake Bay and stuff like that they get straight.
Oh, wow.
Daily fresh
You know,
fish.
yeah, it's the whole thing. And that's the way you want it. If you want seafood, you don't want it coming from far away.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want it in a can like Vienna sausage. Or
Right, or frozen forever.
Can you bring me the fresh trout and that juice that it came in, please?
Ooh, Catherine has a good question in here. Mayonnaise or Miracle Whip?
Mayonnaise.
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 Yeah.
I used to love Miracle Whip though when I was young, but not enough that I need it or miss it. But I've met a lot of people that are very against Miracle Whip. What is Miracle Whip? What's the difference?
Gross.
It's just
Isn't it healthier
sugar.
or something?
What's
Does
that?
Isn't it
taste sweeter.
healthier or something? Oh,
Really?
maybe not.
I can tell you that I have never in my life bought Miracle Whip in a store.
You never bought Miracle Whip?
Ever. Never.
I don't even know how they market it. What the distinction is. What makes it different than mayonnaise?
What's miraculous about
Do
it?
they call it mayonnaise? Is it even on the label?
I don't know. No, do y'all? I mean, I know people that all they eat is Duke's mayonnaise. Y'all have a favorite?
I do love Duke's. But Hellman's is right up there too. Nothing wrong with Hellman's.
See, I grew up scared of mayonnaise, and then I realized I've eaten a whole bunch of it. So it's sort of like you with your medical stuff. I'm like, why am I scared of it when I've probably eaten 100 pounds of it? Mm-hmm. But if somebody would say, you want mayonnaise? Like, oh, no. Then,
Well, it's
and then it's like,
basically
well,
raw
you're eating
egg.
it. People would say, well, you've been eating it for 3 hours.
Isn't it
you know?
technically raw egg? You just whip the whites of an egg. So you feel like there's some danger there of eating a raw egg. There's something disconcerting about it.
So maybe I should switch. Maybe I should switch to Miracle Whip then, because that's like a marshmallow whip or something.
Oh, but I mean, is Miracle Whip is Miracle Whip to mayonnaise like margarine is to butter, where margarine is like plastic or some kind of
That's a good question.
concoction,
I'd like to know that myself.
Hey Siri, is Miracle Whip mayonnaise?
Miracle Whip is not mayonnaise. It's a salad dressing. This is from Wikipedia.
Wow.
This is from Wikipedia.
So believe it or not, it's your choice.
Way to throw Wikipedia
I
under
know,
the
gosh.
bus. Man, like that.
If you want to believe that lying son of a bitch, you can take it in front of you.
So we're out of time here, so I don't really have enough time to explain this interesting musical rabbit hole that I've been down since I saw y'all last. But we have a request that seems like a good one that fits the show for the Luray reference they were talking about. A request for the song "Rolling Home."
Luray.
Luray. Lex knows that one now. But
I don't like saying it like
the first song I played when I got this thing in the mail a few days ago was "Rolling Home." Was the first song I played with it, and just a real quick overview of what this is. A capo, a normal capo, which is how you can shorten the neck of a guitar to play a different key with the same fingerings as traditional. So that's what a normal capo is, and it just frets all the strings. So you're basically just shortening the length of the guitar to make it a higher pitch. So that's what a capo does. But this is called a spider capo. And what it allows you to do is choose which string you want to fret instead of just all of them, which that is all that does. So you put this guy on here.
It's basically the same as putting on an insulin pump if you pay
Yeah,
attention.
we're coming full circle on this show. Now this is attached to an app.
Oh my God,
No.
that's like a Mission Impossible type stuff.
It really is. So now I got 6 different little levers here that I
Wow,
can
that's so cool.
decide which strings I want to fret. So I'm doing the B string up to a C and an E string up to an F.
No, is that a new invention?
It's a few years old, but I didn't know it existed a week ago. I had no idea. And it's led me down this whole rabbit hole of partial capoing. I got 2 new ones today since this capo has taught me so much about the potential of partial capoing. So these are specially designed capos that only do certain strings.
Wow.
And it's a whole thing. Check the tuning a little bit. There we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good luck during the debate tonight. Don't make it a drinking game, please. We want you with us tomorrow.
Make it a thinking game.
Make it a thinking game. Hey, hey. I can't believe all I've seen is over. I can't believe how beautiful it's been so far. So far. I rode the road, New York to San Francisco. Took 10 years to make it to the Shenandoah. Quite a few cars. Quite a few cars. Now I'm driving to the radio, dancing with the rabbits on this stretch of country road. Rolling home, rolling home. Now I can't wait to hear whether Joe won or lost in Luray. I'd be there, but there's a party just down the way. Tonight I feel like playing. Tonight I feel like playing. Oh, and Daniel's gonna be there, that's such a good feeling. I bet Dad's laughter is gonna shake the ceiling. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I'm driving to the radio, dancing with the rabbits on this stretch of country road. Rolling home, rolling home. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm bound to miss the highway. No one around here could ever know how good I was at that. But I'd miss them more. I'd miss them more. Who knows, I might have met a girl that wants to go somewhere. Well, now I could take her there, that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. 'Cause I'm driving to the radio, dancing with the rabbits on this stretch of country road. Rolling home, rolling home. Rolling home, rolling home. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next time.
Very nice.
Cheers, Drifter.
Yeah, babe.
Cabertown. That was fun.
Yeah. How'd you make that? How'd you
Oh,
make the harmonicas?
I messed up a couple of chords because I almost sidebarred the fact that the party referenced in that song is where I got that piece of glass in my foot
Oh,
from earlier. Almost came close. Almost stopped the song to tell that story right there. Ended up just messing up a chord instead. The party that I referenced in that song tonight, that I want to go see Joe and Lou Ray, but there's a party just down the way. That was the night my foot went through a window and got a piece of glass in my foot.